Hi everyone, it's Mandy. Thanks so much for joining me for another process video. Today I'm going to be working on a 12 by 12 layout, and this is for the Vicki Boutin design team. But I do need to apologise because I thought that I was recording the first part of my process, but apparently I was not. And I really wanted to show you how I made this background from start to finish. And so I thought what I would do is just recreate the background on a page out of my Vicki Boutin junk journal. And that way I can show you what I did for this first part of my process. So to start with, I applied some gesso to my background because I knew that I'd be adding a lot of water and I wanted to be able to move those colours around once they were on the page. You saw there that I sort of lifted the cardstock up and let it sort of run around a little bit. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't have added gesso first. Basically, once you apply the colour to the page, if you haven't got gesso on there, it's going to soak straight in. So you can't move it around as much as you'd be able to do if you've added gesso first. So you can see there that I'm just adding lots of water and moving the colour around, and I didn't soak up. If you want the colours to be a little bit lighter and you don't want all of that water and moisture on the page, you can blot it up with some paper towel. But I really wanted those dark and light bits. I wanted it to look that way. If I blotted up the darker bits, then you wouldn't have that variation in colour, which is what I was going for. And I did really like those bright colours as well, so I was happy with that. So the colours that I'm using are inspired by our colour challenge this month. So if you're not a member yet over in the Vicki Boutin Mixed Media Community Facebook group, go and jump over there and join us, because there's heaps of people sharing beautiful projects there, but also we are now doing a monthly challenge. And so this layout that I'm creating is based on that colour challenge this month. So there's beautiful pinks and aquas and limes. It's actually based on the newest Colourpop paint set, the colours in that paint set. I didn't actually use the paints on my project, but it was the colours that I've used were inspired by those colours. And so to get these colours, you can see the lime green, I've just used that green art crayon, but to get the aqua colour, I mixed together the blue and the green. And then to get that bright pink, I mixed together the pink with a little bit of red because it was a little bit purpley and I wanted it really to be that nice bright pink colour. Okay, so now you can see that's how I created that first part of my background. So now I'm working on my 12 by 12 sheet of cardstock, and my background is now dry. And so I'm now going to just add a little bit more depth and interest to this background. I don't want to add too much else because I'm happy with how it's looking, but I do just want to add a little bit more interest. And so the first thing I did there, over the top of where I have added the lime green, I did a little bit of stenciling using the stencil brush and one of Vicki's newer stencils, that circle stencil. And so once again, I've mixed together the blue and the green art crayon to create an aqua colour. And then I've applied it through the stencil using the stencil brush. And that just adds, just that little bit more interest to the background. So then I decided I wanted to add some stamping. So I've pulled out the new circle stamp set and the pigment inks. So these come in two different sets, as you can see there. I first used the cool colour palette and now I'm using the warm colours. And these stamps are beautiful. They're pigment inks and they just stamp really beautifully. And you get 6 colours in there, so it's, very cost effective as well because you get all of those colours in the one set. And so I've just done a little bit of tone-on-tone stamping with the pink. So I've just stamped pink over the top of the pink, and then I stamped some green over the top of the aqua. And so the last thing I'm going to do on my background is I want to add some splatters, and I'm using the iridescent glaze, and I've watered that down and I'm just splattering it onto the page. And you can't see it very well here, but in real life it looks really pretty. There's really, you can see the shimmer on the page. So I was quite happy with how that turned out. So that finishes off the background, and the next thing I'm going to do is work with my cut file. So this month we are also playing with some cut files from Just Nick, and if you haven't seen Nicole's cut files, go and check them out because they are really beautiful. So this one that I'm using, I can't remember the name of it. It might come to me. But I really liked the flowers, and that there were some open flowers and some that weren't. And so what I decided to do was back some of those open flowers with some of the pattern papers from the All the Good Things collection. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to back 3 of them with the pattern papers, and then I'm also going to back 3 of them just with some vellum. And the reason I decided to do that was because I didn't want it to be too busy, but also I didn't want to cover up too much of the background. So by using vellum in some of those open flowers, you can still see the background through those places. So as you can see, I just traced those open flowers onto the pattern papers and then cut them out. I won't show you the whole process. I'll just show you this one so that you can see how I did that. And so, yeah, there you can see I've backed those open flowers with the pattern papers and the vellum. And then I've also added some foam tape underneath the cut file because I want to lift it up and give it some extra dimension. So I really like how that looks. So I'm getting that stuck down on the page now. And you can see there my photo over on the left. I'm going to document a photo from this Easter. And it's of my daughter just holding some of the Easter eggs that she collected. And the colours in this photo just match absolutely perfectly with the colours on in this colour challenge. So that worked perfectly. So now I'm ready to start adding some embellishments to the layout, and I'm going to keep the embellishing really quite simple on this page because there's already so much going on in the background with lots of colour and with the cut file that I didn't want to take away from that, and I didn't want it to get too busy. So I created a cluster there on the bottom left hand corner of the photo. So I just played around with a few of the die cuts from the All the Good Things collection. And that one that says, this is the good stuff, I thought was perfect for this photo. And then I'm going to layer that journal spot there under the top right-hand corner of the photo. So I've got that stuck down now, and I added my title using one of the foam thickers. And the last thing I'm going to do is just add a few of these butterflies from the watercolour sticker pack. And that finishes it off. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. So thank you for your likes and your comments. And I will be back soon with another video. So I'll see you then. Bye.